What is going on, guys? It's your host T-Dub here, and back for some qualifying results from Hoonigan Hill. Who's ready to hear them? And guys, we did have 32 qualifiers, so that means the streak goes on with 32 drivers showing up for qualifying or more to up the car field next season. So, real quick, ForzaHorizonDriftLeague is presented by Trifecta Drift Team. Do you meet the trifecta? Speed, proximity, style. Also presented by Plantronics Gaming, sponsored by 110 Customs. We don't just give 100% effort, we give you 110. Also sponsored by Figurative Tuning. Need a drift tune that needs tweaking or a whole new drift tune in general? Go to Figurative Tuning, they'll help you figure it out. Also sponsored by HKS Performance, bringing style of drifting since 2002. Also by Team 5 Zach and Forza Daily Skids on Instagram and Strictly Sideways. So, we're going to give a few minutes to let people join the chat. I'm going to unmute the party because Turbskis is in here. But let me personally mute everybody else. So, Turbskis, your audio included, buddy?
Yes, sir, it is.
All right. So, how was judging all these guys, man?
What's that? You lagged a little.
I said, how was it judging all these guys, man?
Long. I mean, it took a while from run 1 to run 2. On average, it was about 30 seconds for everybody to get back to the top of the hill.
All right. So I'm sure you and Trent had a lot of fun doing that. Excuse me. So,
like always, buddy.
So it looks like we got quite a few people in the stream now. 1 second. Get to where my audio's not lag. Get close enough to the Xbox. All right, so I guess we'll go ahead and get into it. So starting down at the bottom of the field, coming in at 32 with double zeros is Brock Oli 21. Coming in at 31st, also with double zeros, is Rotary. And then coming in at 30th with double zeros, and keep in mind, guys, there was a lot of double zeros this weekend with everybody struggling. And also, real quick, I just wanted to say, please don't invite anybody to the party who's in here. I made it invite only so that way people don't cut in on our audio. So, like I said, coming in at 30th with double zeros is Predator Shot 308. Then coming in at 29th with double zeros is Sorry No Milk. Coming in at 28th, also with double zeros, is Metro Osprey 23. Also coming in with double zeros, and 27th, this is the last double zero, is EJ8 Drew. Then coming in at 26th with a first run of 63 and a second run of a 0 is Orange Rhino 7210. Then coming in at 25th with a first run of 65 and a second run of a 0 is Shiftaballs. Then coming in at 24th, first run of 67 and a second run of 0, your defending champion, Exterior Guide 46. So Exterior Guide, yet again, not qualifying for an event. I'm sure he's getting frustrated with that. Then coming in at 23rd with a first run of 64 and a second run of 67 from DDS is Beast Anubis. And coming in at 22nd with a first run of 0 and a second run of 68, co-leader of Strictly Sideways is Camo Dude. Then coming in at 21st is, and 21st, make sure that you stay ready just in case you aren't in the backup driver's field, but you may get brought up. Never know. So coming in at 21st with a first run of 65 and a second run of 68. So we're taking the 68 is Salzig. Coming in at 20th, this is the first driver in the group of backup drivers, with a first run of 0 and a second run of 72 is FaZe Supercross. Then coming in at 19th with a first run of 72 and a second run of 0, also needs to stay ready in case there is dropouts. Your last event's winner, actually, Tony Capone. And then coming in at 18th one of Tony's teammates. The first run of 73 and a second run of 0, so only above Tony by 1 point, is Vexsiege. And then the last driver in the backup drivers who need to stay ready in case of dropouts with a first run of 0 and a second run of 73, your 17th qualifier is Stanced Cloud 3. Then coming in at the bottom of the field, these are your top 16 qualifiers who will be running at bracket battles in 6 days on Saturday at 9 p.m. Central. So coming in at 16th with a first run of 70 and a second run of 74 is JDM Fat Panda. And coming in at 15th with a first run of 75 and a second run of 0 is Airman Rook 9094 0. And then I just want to say this, Terpskis, it's kind of funny because after qualifying, actually almost shortly after he ran, Airman messaged me and said he thinks he's going to drop out because he knows he didn't qualify. And then look what happens. He just barely made the field.
Right, yeah, I heard a lot of people saying that too, where they didn't think they qualified, so they were just going to give up and get ready for the next course. But,
Yep.
I mean, you can't give up till you hear your results.
Yep, and actually he told me before his qualifying run, so he said he didn't think he was going to qualify at all because he didn't think he'd make it, but he qualified 15th and he's in the field. So coming in at 14th, with a first run of 0 and a second run of 76, only got the spot by 1 point, as long as Airman Rook only got 15th by 1 point. But coming in at 14th is Beast Valley. And then coming in 13th, first run of 71 and a second run of 77, so only got the spot by 1 point, is Lazarus Seali. And then coming in at 12th with a first run of 0 and the first one to hit the 80s with the second run of 81 is Steezy Anthony. Then coming in at 11th with a first run of 81, but the reason you got the higher spot because his second run was a 77, is Stop Get Some Help. Then now we're getting into your top 10, guys. These are your top 10 qualifiers. Coming in at 10th with a first run of 78 and a second run of 81, my fault. So he got the top 10 just by 1 point, is Carnage King 87. Then coming in at 9th with his first run of a 0 and a second run of an 83. Now, sorry about that, guys. Alarm getting ready for practice. But so anyway, coming in at 9th with a first run of 0 and second run of 83 is Batsick Tricky. Then coming in 8th with a first run of 83 and a second run of 50 from DDS, Etsy Boy. Then coming in 7th with the first run of a 0 and a second run of 84, so only by 1 point, also known as Douche in the Dart, AJ Soups All Over You. And then, so coming in at 6th with your first run of 83 and a second run of 85, talk about consistent, a.k.a. Sleepmeister from Trifecta Drift Team, T-John. Then coming in 5th with a first run of 86 and a second run of 0, only getting it by 1 point. And this is the first driver in your top 5, ladies and gentlemen, is Trippy Steez. Then coming in at 4th, also with consistent runs, a first run of 86 and a second run of 84. The 84 gives him the spot ahead of Trippy Steez since Steez got a 0 on his second run, is Gearhead 12349. So now getting into your top 3 qualifiers. Coming in at 3rd, first run of 71, second run of 87, so another 1 point gain, is Gavinsky 1711. And coming in at 2nd, your number 2 qualifier with a first run of 63 and then picked it up with an 88 in his second run is NSR Demon Shadow. And then your number 1 qualifier, he was the only one to get a score of 90 or higher with a first run of 91 and a second run of 0 is Preeminent Being, Preeminent Being. Sorry, I thought I mispronounced that, but it's Preeminent Being from Most Hated Drift Crew. So Preeminent Being gets the HKS Performance #1 qualifier. Actually, we are switching that. That's what we used to call it. It is now your Figurative Tuning #1 qualifier. All right, so that is your field and your top 16 drivers. Again, drivers 17 through 20th. Please stay ready at all times in case of dropouts. And even some of you guys outside the top 20, please stay ready in case there's a ton of dropouts. So, Turbskis, as I'm looking here, let's see here. I'm going to count before we end the stream and get ready for practice. At Hoonigan Hill, it is closed tandem practice, so only the top 16 qualifiers can come. Only because the course preview for Cooper Pedy has not been released yet. Trent is having some problems with his computer. But let's see here. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 12 in a row at first. Only separating them is 1 point or getting 2 solid runs or getting better style points, Turbskis.
Yeah, I mean that's what it came down to between Stance Cloud and Vexige. Yes, they're out of the top 16, but the only reason Stance Cloud had 17th over Vexige is because of style points in qualifying.
Yeah, and it looks like it also happened with FaZe Supercross and Tony Capone.
Yes, yes.
All right. All right, so then now moving up, actually I said, and then now moving up after those 12, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 in a row after that. The only one breaking that is Preeminent Being, only separated by 1 point, a 0 on one run, and the other guy got a score on his second run, or just style points.
Yep.
So it was a very tight field, everybody. It was a very, very tight field. But like I said, as long as you stay ready, 17th through 20th, again, that's Stance Cloud, Vexige, Tony Capone, and FaZe Supercross. Make sure you guys stay ready at all times. I will include you in a group message as the backup drivers. Also, Saul Zig, Camo Dude, Beast Anubis, Exterior Guide, and Shift of Balls, it probably wouldn't hurt to stay ready just in case there's a ton of dropouts, because we have had that happen in the past. So that'll do it for this announcement. We will get ready for closed tandem practice for the top 16 qualifiers at Hoonigan Hill, and that is in about 10 minutes. So we will be streaming that, and as always, guys, and thank you guys for coming out as well and qualifying. Those of you that did not qualify, as soon as the video goes up for Cooper Pedy, we will announce it. That way you guys can go and check it out on YouTube. If not, just go ahead and go follow us on YouTube and hit that bell. That way you get notified when it goes up. But that way you guys can go ahead and start practicing and getting ready for our next event. So, as always, from me and Turchies, keep it slideways.